This portion of the CU podcast is brought to you by Sheath and their fantastic revolutionary underwear. This is the latest and greatest in undergarment technology. They have the 3-pouch system. So your butt and everything goes into one pouch. And then you got 2 more pouches in here to separate the twig from the berries. This is life-changing stuff for you out there.
Traditional boxer briefs, they're barbaric, basically only good enough for Neanderthals.
Yes.
That's what I say. Sheath has a modern ergonomic design intended to prevent skin-on-skin contact for long-term comfort. No building up of heat and sweat. Sheath prevents all of that.
Whether you're going to the flea market, whether you're working in a game store, whether you're shopping at a store, fitness, staying in shape, you want to keep the thing separated from the legs. You don't want that slapping around. You don't want trauma down there. You don't want heat and sweat and disgusting buildup. Sheath helps with all of that. We have a deal.
A deal.
A deal to get you the best underwear you'll ever have in your entire lives.
Tell me about it.
Go to sheathunderwear.com/CU podcast for 20% off today. That's SHEATH underwear.com/CU podcast. And make sure to use the promo code CU Podcast at checkout, or just click the link below if you're on YouTube. That's sheathunderwear.com/CU Podcast for 20% off. Get this underwear. You won't regret it. You'll keep it all separated and nice with Sheath. All right, Ian.
Yes.
We had another record-breaking video game sale. They're happening every week almost at this point. A Super Mario Brothers sealed went for $2 million. This is not the early print run that appeared on Pawn Stars a couple of years ago. This is not this. This is a cellophane seal one, probably from around 87, that this went for, which makes this kind of strange. Ian, you want to talk about it a little bit?
So what makes it very strange is that it was sold on Rally, which is a
collectible shares investment
nightmare app
site,
similar to Otis, which we have talked about.
Otisburg,
which we have talked about before.
And refuse sponsorship, by the way, for Otis.
Yeah. Definitely refuse that Otis sponsorship. So basically, they owned a copy of this game, Rally, and people bought into it with shares. You buy shares in the game. Then they found a buyer for it at $2 million, and I believe it had to be
you vote on it.
You vote on
as
it.
like stockholders,
right? Exactly. As stockholders, you vote on whether or not to accept that price and sell it,
and you get your payout based on how many shares you have.
So this was sold for $2 million. They agreed to the selling.
According to Sean Cermak, Reserved Investments, it was 75% for, 25% were against this, which is like shocking that it was that high, that you'd be against that.
It shows that delusion is really kicking in for some of these people. You absolutely take that $2 million.
This is a game that 3-4 years ago was probably 4 figures, like maybe several thousand at most, maybe a few thousand because we weren't tracking as much. But to go from several thousand to 2 million is nuts. But then to say, well, this isn't enough money on this investment, and I think I got to say, these are all SEC securities, so you can look up how much they paid for it. I guarantee you they didn't pay $200,000 for that game. I got to find what they actually bought it at. It'll be online somewhere.
So they made something like 900% back on some of those investments.
900%. You want to say, no, let's turn it down.
Which is just insane. So, there's like 900 back on these investments. I mean, my question is, who bought it? Who bought it is what I want to know, because $2 million seems even more ludicrous than the obvious for the 1.5 million that Super Mario got. And the only thing that I can think of is, I can't make the accusation, but I just feel like someone who has a stake in making Rally look good decided maybe I can buy this for $2 million and show people, wow, what can be done.
According to Ars Technica, this one was paid. Someone bought this for $140. So I'm looking at the article now. So they paid $140 for it last year. So they made back, what is that, times almost 20 times the amount. They made back like 15 times the amount in a year.
Yeah.
And there was still 25% of the people that turned that down. Wow. Thank God that the reasonable people said, yeah, give us our fucking money.
So this is obviously something that Rally wants to advertise
Absolutely.
as being a huge deal because it makes their business look good, I think, to the layman. But at this point, I'm really starting to wonder, who is the layman? Who is the person who believes that this is actually going to hold up for any length of time?
It doesn't matter, though, because they're making their money hand over fist right now. So it's actually interesting that when you see a lot of this stuff happen, like the record-breaking sales that happen end up benefiting these companies.
Yes.
So, like, of course, Raleigh wants to say, hey, we paid $140,000 for this, because the higher that you pay for it and announce it, you can then have your shares sold for more money, and then you have other people buy into thinking that, wow, $140,000, I'm going to put my money in. And look what happens. Literally almost 1 year later, they make a, like, what is that, 16 to 17 times return on investment. 16 to 17 times in 1 year. In 1 year, you can't find anything, stocks, index funds, that you'll get anything close to that. That's real estate. You don't usually double your money on stuff. 16 times?
Yeah, it's...
And this is a 1987 copy. Again, this is not the first print. It's not the second print. This is a 1987 copy. This is the copy that I probably owned, or lots of people when they got their NES in 87 probably owned something like this. You know, they try to say, well, you know, it's a special version, it's only made for a few months. Everyone had a Super Mario Brothers by 1987. Like, that was the year the NES was blowing up. It's the year it was blowing up. No Rev A, hang tab. They try to do all the things like code, round SOQ. They try to do this minutia.
They try to hit you with all these weird trivia and facts to make it sound more interesting.
Wow, this one was only made for maybe 2 or 3 months, we think. And it's like, it's still a 1987 Super Mario Brothers. Yes, it's a 9.8. Yes, it's a 9. It's not the first one. It's not the second one. It's not even the third one, potentially.
It won't be the last one.
No, I mean in terms of print runs.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Okay, sure, yeah.
We're not talking about first print runs. This isn't comic books, where it's like, yeah, it's Action Comics #1. By the way, with comics, usually people only care about the first print run of comics. They don't care about the reprints. Those Ninja Turtle 3rd and 4th printings, people don't really care about. They want the original.
Yeah.
I want the original. So again, we have people that have bought into this. You have these, and we have a lot of money. We have these companies that are into Otis and Rally. They have lots of money. They are big companies with money to burn. They can take the gamble on top of this to put the money in to prop up the market. And with the help of Heritage Auctions and WATA, it's like, wow, look what these guys are doing. We're going to get into this.
Right.
Before it was sneakers and other bullshit. Now we're going to try this with Super Mario Brothers, and it's worked for them. So good for them. The person that put in $2 million, that's what's interesting, like you said. Since this is an SEC regulated Securities Exchange Commission, all these, I think this would have to be publicly reported who you sold this to.
Right.
So we hopefully will find out who gets this. That'll be some clue to the puzzle. Maybe it's just someone, at this point, you probably have a lot of money coming in where these are not game collectors, obviously. These could be people that have a lot of money to try to reinvest from other things, whether it was meme stocks or crypto or real estate or other collectibles markets, that we're going to try this. So I looked up something interesting that I'd heard about, wasn't totally familiar with. It's called an IRS 1031 exchange. I put the little link in there for Investopedia. So what this is a way to defer capital gains when you're investing. So traditionally, this is used for like real estate. So meaning if I sold a house for, we'll just say $1 million, and that was $500,000 profit, if I don't do anything with that money, I get tax capital gains on that profit of the $500,000. This is a way to defer the tax payment if I can show that I put that profit into something else.
Okay.
Push it along to something else.
Gotcha.
Push it, kick the can down the road. So when I thought about a lot of these prices going up, I'm thinking about people that have this money. Okay, I just sold the house. I don't want to buy another house. Obviously, it's hard to move a house. What can I put this money into? or say it's I have profits from for selling expensive, I don't know, baseball card, the Tom Brady rookie cards or whatever. Where do I put my money into? That's legal, and I can now have a new toy to play with and someplace to hold my money if I don't need it. This is a way to do it. You basically do this 1031, you show the profit from one investment going into another. Now it's locked in there. The IRS can't get you for that until you take the profit out of that, or you keep transferring it. And it's a way to build wealth. It's a way to basically just, again, you kick the can down the road for your profits, and you take the profits to reinvest to keep building it up. Gotcha. Eventually, you got to pay taxes.
At some point, you have to pay those taxes.
Maybe not if you keep building it up to something else. So I'm not saying that's what's going on here, but I can definitely picture people putting money in Rally or Otis using this, or even some of the people that are experimenting with this new market, or they are speculating. This could be where some of that money potentially comes from. I will say this again. If you ask me for a quote, for one of these articles that covers this stuff, I'm not going to be the person to say, unlike some of my peers, who I respect and like, I'm not going to be the guy to say, well, it's just two people that really wanted it because they want to collect. I don't think it's that simple. This is way too much money for it to be that.
Yeah,
there's not many people out there that
respectfully disagree on that.
There's not many people out there to be like, you know what, Ian, I want to Super Mario Brothers. I'm going to spend $2 million fucking dollars on something that just a year ago I could have bought for $140,000.
Doesn't make any sense.
That even 2 years before that, I could have probably bought for $10,000. You know what I mean? Like, and going back 5 years, I could have bought for $1,000 or a few grand. So it doesn't pass the smell test.
No, it does not pass the smell test. There we go.
It smells funky. You ever get a piece of fish out a couple days?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? I might not want to eat this because it smells funny.
Yeah.
There's no logic to it, potentially like on paper, but it smells funny. And we all know that if you eat that fish, you might get sick. Mm-hmm. Bad case of sushi. So, yeah, I didn't know about the 1031 exchange. I didn't know about it in terms of like you can use it for investments to defer capital gains. So, yeah, and then some people are bringing up like something like money laundering. I don't want to go that far with some of this stuff. I will say this, though. It's a nice, handy way for you at least to, we'll just say, eventually try to hide profits that would be harder to tax if you get into this stuff. Mm-hmm. Private deals for some of this stuff. Say you have $2 million. This isn't money laundering, but say you got $2 million from something laying around. Maybe you got that in different methods. You buy a game. Then maybe there's a private deal that happens at some point. Maybe that money doesn't get reported to the IRS, or only a portion of it does. So there's some tax things going on as well. I think, not to get into the crypto stuff, but a lot of countries are starting to crack down on crypto. China started to crack down on crypto. Where you can originally hide crypto money as a haven for a lot of this stuff, this could be some of the bleeding into collectibles potentially. We're talking a lot people with a lot of money that can be like, you know what? I can't put it into crypto and hold it there anymore, potentially get a profit, or then just hold it. I got to put it somewhere else. That could be some of this going on. I'm not saying for sure, but when you see something this exorbitant in this small amount of time happen, this isn't just a collectibles market. As Ian takes a swig of the Polder, we're past that. This has moved on. This has moved beyond. I'm talking to retro gamers and collectors. This is now out of our hands.
Yeah,
this is not our world anymore. This is big finance. These are people with play money, and these are people looking to gamble as well with that money to speculate.
Yep.
So I welcome being able to see who the buyer of this is. They'll start to clue you and key you in a little bit into this. And of course, this is going to trickle down, though, unfortunately, into obviously complete in box copies. I have not looked up what complete in box. I have a second print run beat up that I found at Comic-Con of Super Mario Bros. I have no idea if that means that beat up copy is now worth, 10 grand, even beat up. I have no idea. I don't know where this takes it. I don't know if that means people that are coming to Luna saying, "Oh, I'm trading my Super Mario Brothers card. It's got worth at least $1,000, Ian, because one went for $2 million." Like, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We don't know. But it's out of our hands now. We are now stepped over and stepped on for these one percenters. Basically, it's the nicest way I can put it.
Yeah,
that's what happened. We've helped establish a video game collecting community. We put in the decades of work and the knowledge and the research and the support, and this is the end result. We have companies like Heritage Auctions and WADA and other big investment firms getting into it, and it's all for all these people to make this tons of money on it, just to use it as a commodity. It's been hoarded out. It's been hoarded out. That's it. That's it.
All right.
I don't think I'm being over dramatic, but I think that's what's happened, and it's only taken like 2 years to do it.
Yeah.